We have a very special guest here on our Morningside campus today, but all the way from Seattle, Washington, at the age of 16. She's a TED speaker, author, and activist. Please welcome Adora Shrivak. Hey, welcome to the show.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
So you've done some incredible things. I mean, you've written this book when you were 7, and you've been really active in the education reform field for the past, 10 years or so. So tell me, what really motivated you, inspired you to get into this reformation, actions when we're at such a young age?
Well, I think that I just feel incredibly lucky to have parents who put my education first and foremost, and I can remember growing up just surrounded by books. And I thought that that was what every kid had, and I really wanted other people to have the same opportunities that I did of being surrounded by people who loved learning. And I realized that when I went to 9th grade and 10th grade, that really wasn't the culture that a lot of schools had. And public high schools oftentimes is very much about getting the right grades or getting the right test scores, and because of this narrow focus, then I don't see as much of the love of learning, and I'm not seeing discussions happening at lunch about great authors and great scientists. So that was something that I really desperately wanted to change, and one of the ways that I hope to change that is by really getting more students to speak up about what the problems they see in their own education as well as how they can fix them.
So you've been talking at over 100 conferences throughout your lifetime, and what was some of your favorite moments going to these conferences and speaking out about your the issues that you believe in?
I think that one of my favorite moments came just actually in January. I was in Michigan, it was freezing cold, -6 degrees, but the great thing was, one, I was indoors, but secondly, I had the chance to be on a panel of other students. So it was the first time I'd been at a conference where the superintendents and principals really valued what young people could say so much that they not only invited me, but they invited 5 other kids. And so that was, to me, a really bright light. It was something that I saw as more hope going forward. And when I gave my speech there, I actually received a standing ovation from the audience, which I found to be such a positive affirmation for everything that I had worked for.
That's so wonderful. And I listened to your TED Talk. It was wonderful. I think you were 10?
I was 12.
You were 12, and you were just so articulate, and you have some really great things to say how teachers should learn from their students too. So how can we apply this in a daily setting, especially in a college, Columbia University level, I guess?
Well, I know that it's difficult sometimes in a big lecture hall to necessarily ask people for their opinions as much, but I think that the two-way street of learning, where it's also the students teaching the teachers, can really be found a lot in discussion. It can be found when professors value what each and every person who walks in their classroom has to offer as far as personal experiences, their own opinions within education. I know for me in high school even, when my teachers send out surveys and they really value what we've said, our feedback on their class, and they actually integrate that feedback as they're developing the course for next year, that makes me feel extraordinarily valued, I already recognize it, that I can actually have something to teach.
It's so inspiring, wow. And I guess, so you're talking at Teachers College over at Columbia University today about the detrimental effects of just test scores and exam scores and basing people's merits based on those things. So what are some of the things that you'll be talking about today? Can you give us a little sneak peek?
Well, I'm really interested in the area of education and social justice, of course, and I recently read a book that really shaped my opinions on this, which described basically how we've become very obsessed with merit that we can quantify with what, if someone gets a high score on a test, that means they're the smartest or the best. And I really challenge that in my talk, and I say that access to these tests is often, and doing well on those tests is more determined by how well you prepare and how much financial means your family might have to help you with that, especially in the United States, big tests like the SAT, there's a whole industry around that. And so I'm really criticizing if we're going to determine access to the best schools on certain things that may not define the whole of a person, that we really need to think about what are better ways to assess students and what are ways we can give students from all socioeconomic backgrounds more.
So there was this talk on NPR the other day about how some colleges actually don't really have SAT scores to get into the college. So what's your viewpoint on that? Should we just abolish the SAT scores altogether? Do you have a stance on getting rid of the test scores to get into a college application process and things?
I think that there should be maybe more choice for the applicant, because I know a lot of people who do pretty well in the SAT and they didn't actually have to study that hard, they just went in and they have really good knowledge in all those areas, so it's fairly easy for them. For them, it might really help them to include it. For other people, they might have done really badly on a given day because of circumstances outside of their control, and maybe for them, if they can better show their strengths through interviews, through submitting a portfolio, I would wish that there would be more options available.
Great, and I guess just to tie things off together, so What is your next project? Do you have a next project? Because you are just busy doing like a lot of education reform and things. What do you like to do for fun? I guess.
Well, I really enjoy running. I'm planning on running a half marathon in March, so.
Good for you. When it gets a little warmer than this.
Exactly. I'm hoping it doesn't rain in Seattle, of course. That's
Yes.
quite frequent. But as far as next projects, I'm really hoping to get more involved in education reform. I'm on the youth advisory board for the USA Science and Engineering Festival, so I'll be going to DC in April to be seeing some of the speakers that I helped curate, and that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here, Adora. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you for watching, everybody.